You want to talk about scooters? I could talk about scooters. Electric scooters, e-bikes, I could talk about them all. We impound those little bastards all the time. Yeah, the hybrid pedal ones, the DUI special, if you know what I mean.
I
Yeah,
do know what you mean.
yeah.
I'm
There's
sure
a
we'll
lot of
figure
them
it.
out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because they lose their license once for DUI and they buy a scooter.
Yeah, and then they're still a hooligan, and then they get pulled over and impounded again.
Or they hit a parked car and they don't have insurance, and who pays for that one?
Hey everyone, I'm Brad from Calgary.
This is Sean from Cambridge, Ontario.
I'm Terry from Cornwall, Ontario.
Hey, this is Larry from Pitt Meadows, British Columbia, and you're listening to the Towing Life Podcast.
Welcome to the Towing Life Podcast, where the ditches are deep, the trucks are loaded, but the drivers are not. I'm your host, TowManG, and as usual, I'm joined by my co-host, friend, and former co-worker, the one chain wonder himself, Mr. PlainGuy.
What is going on, G? What is going on?
Oh, you know, same thing, different day.
What happened to the man with very strong opinions? I've now become the one chain wonder only. I'm slightly insulted and disappointed at the same time.
Well, you know, you might have some strong opinions, but I think your opinions have changed over the last couple of weeks on some sort of things. So, you know,
That's debatable. That is absolutely debatable. Oh, before we get too far into it, guys, it is a great time to mention that if you have any subjects and or questions, comments, concerns, straight up criticism you want to share with the page, you can easily do so. You can find us at www.towinglife.ca. You can email us at thetowinglife@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at the Towing Life Podcast, or you can call us at 249-666-2209. You can leave your voicemail. We'll do your best to play it on the show. We appreciate the comments and questions that come in through the Facebook. We will actually get to one of them today from a Christopher Paul. We'll get into that in a little bit. Christopher was nice enough to send us in a message. We contacted the people we needed to contact. We did the research and we got him the answers to the questions that he has. We can't always guarantee that we will get the right answers, but we will get you an answer.
Yeah, we're not official news normally. If we're certain on something, we'll let you know. If we don't specifically say this is what it is, then take it with a grain of salt.
I speak gospel. I don't know what you're talking about. Anything I say is gospel, and you should take it to your grave.
Okay, PlainGuy religion. That's more of a cult.
I'm gonna start my own cult. I'm gonna start the PlainGuy cult. Who's with me? I got some Kool-Aid. It's been in the cupboard for a little while, but it's still good. Who is joining the PlainGuy cult?
What kind of cookies do you got?
Ooh, I got these one. I went and visited my. This is the way our show goes every goddamn week. I went to my grandmother's place the other day to drop off. Actually, I don't know if I went to drop some off. I don't know. She wanted to see me. I hadn't seen her in a little while, so I stopped by.
Yeah.
And she had these awesome little oatmeal cookies with like jam in the middle of them, like a soft oatmeal. And they were delicious. I had the coffee and I ate a bunch of these cookies. I probably hadn't eaten lunch that day. Always go to grandma's for some goodies. And so I'm talking to her. She's like, yeah, you buy them at the dollar store. And sure enough, I picked 2 boxes up at the dollar store. They are sitting on my counter. I have not touched them. That was like 3 weeks ago. They're only good at grandma's house. They're less good when you bring them home.
Yeah. It's the girlfriend she came home and she goes to Costco and she always brings back random things. And this time she walked in with a box of 42 fruit roll-ups. Like the fruit by the foot.
Yeah.
I haven't had those since I was a kid. Now I got a massive box of them sitting in my kitchen. We don't have kids. They're for us.
You just have a ton of fruit roll-ups or fruit by the foot, whatever they call them. That's awesome. Yeah, my wife does most of our groceries around here. She's awesome at getting good snacks and everything. We're both snack people, clearly. Yeah. It shows. Yeah. So she's pretty good with stocking up on the snacks. But as I was talking about earlier, having my cup of coffee. If you guys have not seen it already, the post went out on Facebook today that we are recording, Sunday, April 10th. But it'll air on Sunday, April 12th, Tuesday, April 12th. Sorry, messing up my days. The Towing Life podcast now has a live merchandise store. where you can get this wonderful mug that you see. I realize you don't see my cursor. This wonderful mug in the top left corner of the featured product. It is a great mug. We worked on some designs today, my wife and I. It's one of those charts, go look at the website. You know what? Don't let me tell you what's on it. Go check it out. There's t-shirts available. There's hoodies available. There is stickers. There's phone cases. There's all kinds of stuff. I'm sure you can find something for the tow in you. We will slowly start to add more products, add more designs. For those of you watching on the YouTube side, you'll see G is wearing a sweater that says "I'm sexy and I tow it." TowManG G. We will look at adding hoodies and shirts like that for you guys.
Oh, thanks, man. My girlfriend got me this to make me feel special.
Oh, you're not going to be special anymore because everyone is going to be rocking one with the Towing Life podcast logo on it. So be sure to check that out. You will find it on our website at www.towinglife.ca. You can click right at the top on the main page. There is a shop now that'll bring you right to this page where you can add the items. We knocked everything down. It is through a third-party seller. We kind of do the design, set it up with them. I knocked it down so the profits are next to nothing because I wanted to keep the items reasonably priced.
Yeah.
They do ship to Canada, the US, and Europe.
Oh, perfect.
I've used them before on other ventures. They seem to be great. The quality is good. We'll probably order a couple ourselves so that we can have them up on display and check them out and everything else. So I know G is going to be ordering one of everything, I'm sure, as soon as we're done here tonight. Because fun fact, we ordered shirts might have been a year ago. It's been forever. And I ordered them both. I got them shipped here and then I moved. I still don't know where the shirt is. G never got his.
No.
So
if you watch our earlier podcast, you'll see him wearing one with our logo on it, and I never did, and that's the reason, because I never got my shirt.
Well, the good news is, G, you can head over to the towinglife.ca.
We need to get a hashtag started. Hashtag get TowManG his shirt down there. The OG shirt. I don't want to go out and have to wait until I get paid to put it in a big order. I want the OG shirt, man. The OG shirt's where it's at.
The OG shirts. Well, you can head over to towinglife.ca. You can order the shirt. You will probably get yours before G gets his.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll look at some hats in the future. We'll look at some different things. Whatever you guys are interested in, we'll be sure to get it out. Anything you do get like that helps support the show. So we greatly, greatly appreciate it.
How was that live stream last week?
It was fun. I had a blast.
I loved it.
I'm sure you did. You were so worried. I was scared and so worried, and then we nailed it. The fine folks at Tow Canada, Tow Soft, we'll give them another shout out this week. Why not? With all the help they gave us too. A couple winners. We got the Amazon gift card has already been sent out. Trent has received it. The magazine subscriptions are coming to the two winners for that. So yeah, no, it was good. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, we had some really great feedback from it, which is awesome. We're glad you guys enjoyed it because we enjoyed doing it.
Absolutely.
But I would definitely like to see that becoming a regular occurrence, maybe once every couple of months or so. It's hard to get our schedules lined up as it is, let alone setting up a live stream. So we do our best, but we can't promise anything there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It will be something we will do again. Like you said, every couple months, something good. It's nice to actually interact one-on-one with you guys. We get the messages on Facebook. We get the emails. We get all that kind of stuff. But to actually have that one-on-one live interaction with you guys that are listening, watching, reading, I don't know if that's a thing. It is great. So we really appreciate you guys all stopping out. Can't wait to do it again.
I don't think they can read a video.
Yeah, there's auto captions.
I guess.
All right. Well, that being said, it is time for my favorite game, G, your favorite game as well.
Oh,
we have another episode this week of How Much of a is TowManG G?
Yeah.
How much of a dick is TowManG G?
I hate this game.
I'm not gonna lie. We were about 15 minutes before recording. I went to my wife and I said, I need some content for how much of a dick is TowManG G. And she gave me a genius idea.
Oh boy. Oh, Miss PlainGuy. You're gonna do me bad this time.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. So,
okay,
if you haven't listened before and you don't understand the concept of the game is simple. We ask TowManG G a moral question, some sort of situation that we have all encountered on the road. which was great that she came up with this idea that we have definitely all encountered. And how is TowManG going to handle it, in turn determining how much of an ass or dick is TowManG?
Okay.
We rate it. I think we're going to start giving it a rating on a scale of 1 to 5, 0 to 5. Let's go 0 to 10. Let's make it easy. I'm going to rate you on how much of a dick is TowManG.
10
0 being he is a really nice guy and borderline saint.
Yeah.
All the way up to 10 on I would fire you without notice.
Okay. Okay. It's a good thing I don't work for you.
A very good thing. So, situation is simple. We've all been here before.
Okay.
Customer breaks down on the side of the road. You're there to tow them, whether it be through roadside, whether it be through COD, whatever it's through. Okay. You tow them, you bring them to the shop. You get to the shop and they ask you, they've been fairly nice to you. Hey, do you mind giving me a ride home? We've all been in this situation now, especially with passengers being back. We'll go out of our way. We'll do, as long as you're not 40, 50 kilometers away, we don't mind helping you out. Now, so this customer gives you an address. It's 5-10 minutes away. You agree. I'll bring you out there. You get 3/4 of the way out there and he changes his mind. He wants to go somewhere else. Now that new location is back the same direction you just came. Nowhere near. You have nothing on the board. You have nothing going on. So you decide you're going to change your mind. You're going to bring him back. All right, fine. No problem. He changes his mind again on where he wants to get brought. At what point do you, A, bring him to the spot that whatever the last spot he told you that you agreed to, or B, leave him on the side of the road and say, figure it out, or a safe location like at Tim Hortons?
Well, I would never just leave someone sitting on the side of the road. Let's just get that out there. I'm not that big of a dick. So for me personally, whenever I know I have a passenger coming with me, I always ask them first, do you have a ride once we get to the drop off to the shop or whatever the case may be? So I avoid that situation. But in this instant, if I didn't do my due diligence and ask beforehand, he changes the drop off location once and we start going to the second and he changes it again. I would probably say to the guys, like, listen, I'm driving you around free of charge. I'm going to have to start charging you mileage if this starts to become an issue. I could pull over, wait for 5 minutes until you can be 100% sure where you want to go. But this is the final time, right? Diesel's not cheap right now. And I would probably also say I also have something going on back in town, right? I'm needed back in town.
I got, my phone's ringing. I got another call. Yeah, it's on vibrate. You didn't hear it.
Yeah. Like just say one of those things to like, hey man, hurry it along. And a lot of the times people are very good and they don't want to waste your time. And a lot of times they're very appreciative. And if they were a dick to me off the hop, I would probably say, I towed the car to the drop off. Unless you want to pay me mileage from here to where you want to go, I'm not a cab, right? If they were a dick. Normally, like you were saying, if they were pleasant to me, I would drive them home. But I've never actually had that switching of where they want to go after. I've had the tow destination change on me multiple times, 3 times.
It's a little different when it's the tow. It's more when you're going out of your way to do them a favor and they're switching stuff up. I think with the answer you have given, I think it is fair. I would rate you somewhere in the 3 to 4. You are nowhere near sainthood.
Yeah.
But you definitely aren't a full dick for that if you're willing to make the change in the first place and then make sure you would not leave them on the side of the road.
Well, I'm
never left somebody on the side of a road?
Never.
I'm trying to think if I did. I feel like I might have at one point. This might be a new game. How much of a dick is PlainGuy?
I've never left anyone on the side of the road. Even an ex-girlfriend. We broke up in the truck and I still drove her home.
What a gentleman and a scholar you are.
Thanks.
What a winner you are, ladies.
My hat, sir.
He's not single, but
no.
If he was, he is a winner. So I'll mark you down. I'll mark you down as a 3.5.
We should have like a running tally at the end of the year, and
that's why I wrote it down.
I
have all the bugger still listed. I keep a separate sheet that you don't have access to. You can't prep for any of these. Let's be honest, I'm not really prepping for them either.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard.
Your wife is. Your wife's going to be thinking about these all week now.
Oh yeah, she probably thinks back to shitty calls that I've come home and complained about. and then goes, well, what about this time? Why don't you ask this? I'm sure I've had this conversation with her. That's where she came up with it.
Probably.
So thank you, Mrs. Plain. So we hinted at a little bit earlier. We were reached out to by a Mr. Christopher Paul asking a question about WreckMaster. Anyone that knows that I'm a big fan of WreckMaster. What he brought, and I'll pull it up on the screen right now for those of you on the audio side. The question was simple: is that WreckMaster is no longer, if you go to their website, there's also terrible spelling mistakes in this. So if you are from WreckMaster, I took this directly from your website. Please go reread it, proofread it, and you might want to change your wording. But it's talking about, I believe it's all levels of training, but the start is the 2-3 is what I pulled up. I found a 2-3 class that they're going to be offering. Level 2-3 fundamentals is best for business owners, company managers, trainers, health and safety reps, or any career-oriented operators. I have taken the 2-3. It is a great entry-level course. Normally, as an operator, I'd say get a year under your belt before you take it. Anything after 6 months is pretty reasonable. But in it, there's a in asterisks, please note WreckMaster is no longer offering certification with the training we offer. Now, I read it out the proper way. It is not spelled properly. I want give WreckMaster the chance to rectify that on their website. So, we'll get back out of there. So there was a concern, obviously, with that. They reached out and they said, hey, what's up with this? WreckMaster is no longer offering certification for the training. So why am I taking the training?
No.
Fair answer. So I reached out to somebody, and we will remain anonymous, at WreckMaster.
Yeah.
He's very involved with WreckMaster, and I said, hey, let's get to the bottom of this. Fun fact, WreckMaster has been sold to a company in the US. It is no longer the original owners. And he made it very clear, and it made sense. This is where WreckMaster is still continuing to push for the betterment of the industry.
Yeah.
There was a problem. If anyone had taken a WreckMaster course, you will know, especially in the past, you do the 2-day training, you sit down at the end, and they have an exam. The exam was fairly open book. You had instructors able to help you. It wasn't a true exam. It almost felt a little taking away from the training you got.
Yeah.
Right? Because the exam was simple. And you don't want it to be simple if you want to be legitimate.
Yeah.
So that is what they did here, is that in certain states, the WreckMaster training was not being recognized as a towing certificate because it didn't have proctored exams. Proctored exam is when you bring in an independent third party to evaluate the test, so to grade the test and to administer the test, which means WreckMaster is no longer a part of this. It is not the instructors, it is not the trainers that are sitting down and giving you the test and grading it. It is an independent third company.
Party.
Yeah, third party. So what that does to better the industry is that now WreckMaster can be seen as a legitimate training, because it is not just training that you get a feel-good certificate at the end. You actually complete the training. There is, I don't know if it was a certificate of training, what he wants to call it, but it was a completion of the WreckMaster program. And that combined with your certificate for your exam would be recognized in certain states by certain insurance companies, by certain, different regulatory boards within those states, and give you something back. So WreckMaster was actually giving you something back. Now, these exams can also be taken without actually taking the WreckMaster course. You could go in and say, hey, I want to write my towing certification.
You can challenge it like a driver's license.
And challenge it. Absolutely. Now, with that being, you still don't get the actual certificate of training, meaning that you've taken the WreckMaster course, but you would have the certificate, of
passing the bar, let's say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it is a good thing. I think there's plans. We talk about training becoming mandatory and all these kind of things, and WreckMaster's involvement. This is a step in the right direction, right? This makes training legitimate.
Yeah.
This isn't just a weekend to go out with some buddies and try out this stuff and roll a school bus and everything else. This is a good opportunity to actually get legitimate training that'll be recognized at certain levels of government, and hopefully more and more and more as they progress.
I would really like to see some sort of mandatory training in the industry, because it would really curve the problem that we're having of undertrained people and damages that don't need to happen and that kind of stuff. And I see that a lot, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't personally sign up for WreckMaster. Is I was working with a couple of guys that went to WreckMaster, and I worked with a couple of guys that didn't go to WreckMaster, and I learned from both of them.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, you've got a couple of different ways of doing the job, and so do you, and they both seem to work. And I'm not getting a pay raise if I go and do this learning. I've managed to do my job safely and efficiently so far. And as much as I like the training, if there is no actual like a graduated license type thing with that training, it's not mandatory. Am I going to fork out that kind of money to go out and get the training? With these steps that RecMaster is taking here and now, it's almost it's almost beneficial to you, especially if it's going to be recognized by certain levels of government and the towing companies more so off too.
But the towing, like, if you're saying that you're not getting a raise for taking RecMaster training, then that's not RecMaster's job to change how that's going to work. That is management. That is everything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, I
right?
know.
A more trained operator, like when I say it affects levels of government, it's recognized with insurance companies, different things like that. It is not going to be, oh, we now have a new towing minimum wage out there, right? You
Yeah.
know, and even if you don't believe that taking the course would better give you more money through the company that you're at, it would better you.
Yep.
And would be recognized at other companies.
Mhm.
So no,
Well, RecMaster was always recognized at companies. Like if you went to apply for a towing job anywhere you go and you say I have my RecMaster 2, 3, and 4, 5, you're hired just like that. Guaranteed.
Whoa.
Wow.
I
Compared
knew a
to
lot of dickheads that took 2, 3, and 4, 5 that I wouldn't hire.
yes, but you've got that. And Joe Schmo, the pizza delivery guy, you're going to look at this and you're going, well, this guy's been in the industry before. He's gone and got qualifications. I'm going to look at this guy more than the pizza delivery guy. Don't get me wrong, that pizza delivery guy could be a fantastic operator with the right training. Because I've seen a lot of people come from different industries and exceed and surpass a lot of expectations in the towing industry. But having that
Oh, it
course
helps. It
behind you,
definitely helps. It's something that I would take into consideration 100%. But it's not like, yeah, I'm hiring that guy because he's got RecMaster. I personally, and I've said it before, I love training new guys.
Yeah.
I hate hiring experienced tow operators.
Yeah.
I hate dealing with experienced tow operators. I hate dealing with myself. So I can only imagine when there's one of me that walks in the door. But no, I like hiring the new guys. Speaking of which, we hired a new guy. This was week 1 that just passed, right? Week 1.
Yeah.
This poor bastard. I mean, we gave him, he ran the gambit this weekend, like this week.
Yeah.
He touched everything that we would normally do in a month's work in a week. Meaning day one, fairly easy. We did some basic tow calls, right? Some roadsides. I don't even think we had a ball joint. I don't even think we had a flat tire that day. It was all training them on the light duty flatbed, winching a car on, tying it down. Perfect day 1. That's what you want.
Yep.
Day 2, rollover. Tractor trailer rolled over into the ditch, did a barrel roll.
Yeah.
He's out there with the crew, uprighting and unloading and doing all that. So that's a hell of a day's work.
Yeah.
Day 3, he had a bunch of calls, no wheels, ball joint, like he got everything thrown at him that day. Again, we wish we could get all our new guys this kind of training. You've been there. Sometimes you can't get these guys this training for a month or 2 before you get one of those trains call. He's getting all of them.
Yeah.
Thursday, load transfer in the yard from that rollover from Tuesday. He was out doing that, pulling skids out, up and down, moving the jigger, pulling the trailer. We grab with the forklift, put in the next one, grab the jigger. Doing that kind of that load transfer work. Day 5 was Friday. We have these big trailers that we're moving once a week. They're 20 feet long. They're big enough trailers. They're good size. And so I asked him, I said, you're going to come with me on Friday. We're going to go do these 2 trailers. There's 2 to do from site to site. So we tow a truck, pull them, tow the truck back.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. I said, you ever tow a trailer in your life before? And he goes, no. I was like, never. He's new. He's new. He's never touched a tow truck before this week.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to pick a good, 13,000 pound 20-foot trailer is a great way to start. We aren't starting with little 5x8 utilities. We're going right away to the trailers. And I was with them, so it was perfect. We weren't going very far. It was good, but it's like you touched everything this week, man. You got some of the training that guys don't get for a month in. You got to see a little bit of everything. And if I haven't scared you out of this job yet, you might make it. If he shows up Monday morning, I feel pretty confident he's going to be here for a little bit.
That's something I never actually thought about. You could hire someone to be a tow truck driver and you stick them in a flatbed to teach them.
Yeah.
And they've never actually towed anything before, like a trailer or a car before, because it's just on the deck. Right?
I mean, our flatbed guys pretty quickly end up towing something behind on a wheel lift.
Yeah.
Like, there's enough trailers, double pin situations, all that. They've towed something at one point or another. But yeah, you do get new guys that, have never, something in his life. He worked in automotive sectors, but never dealt with anything in a trailer.
Yeah.
And,
I remember we've got a new guy at the company I work for now. He's been doing it for like 2 months now, and he absolutely loves it. And as much as we're all cranky and miserable all the time, it's nice to see that joy. I know when you first got into the industry, and I know myself, you fell in love with it, right? And now I find I'm always looking for that feeling again. It's like an addiction, right? And I think that's what the addiction is you're just constantly looking for your next fix of adrenaline, or this is what I can do for bragging rights. And this kid, he's doing pretty good. He's turned into a pretty good operator. 2 months in, he did his first rollover. It was a level rollover on the roof.
okay, so flat on the road on its roof.
Well, it was actually in a driveway.
Okay.
So he had even less. Yeah. He did that pretty good by himself. I think my manager went out and just watched him, and he did it all, which is good. That's a great learning experience. He's had a bad couple of weeks, though. He rode off the one flatbed. A kid in a Honda Civic made a U-turn right in front of him, ripped out the axle.
So nothing you can really do on it.
No, he's not at fault. Like, you can't get upset with the guy. If he went the other way, he would have been dodging 3 telephone poles. So
take the Civic.
Yeah.
Civics move. Telephone poles
take
don't.
the front end of the Civic, and he stowed it down the ditch, and we got that out and waiting for insurance. And then he towed a vehicle down to the police headquarters, and the officer said, "Oh, just follow me right in." And sure enough, he goes right through, and the gate comes down and hits the mirror of the tow truck on the flatbed. Thankfully, it hit the mirror, not the truck that he was towing, because then at least it's dealing with us and the police, which we have a contract with, not the vehicle that they just impounded.
Right. Because, that guy's already thrilled that his truck's being impounded. The last thing
Yeah.
you want to deal with is telling him that you put a scratch or a dent in his roof, too.
Yeah, the police officers, we deal with some awesome police officers, most of the ones that we deal with. And the officer admitted, saying, yeah, I told him to follow me right through the gate, and the gate closed. And it was a weird gate. Sometimes it would stay up, sometimes it would close immediately. It's just a finicky gate. Just the luck of the draw, and we lost. No damage done, no harm, no foul. But that's he was like, man, I'm out of a truck for a couple days, and I hate it. He went and rode around with the manager for a day, and he was like, this sucks. I just want to work on my own again. Like, I've got that fix, or I got that need I got to fix, and this sucks, man.
That's what I'm getting at with this new guy, because this new guy is actually getting pretty good. I got to give to him. Like, I don't, I double check his work, whatever, but it's getting to the point, and you remember this when I got to you, when I was training you, is that it gets to the point where he needs to have the confidence to pull the trigger, which means I can't be watching over every little thing that he does, because if so, he's just always going to be assuming that I'm going to tell him to stop if he does something wrong.
Yeah.
So once you get, more confident and comfortable, and I see the way he's progressing, you almost end up just sitting in the truck.
Yeah.
You sit in the truck. He hooks it up. Okay. Tell me when it's ready. Okay. I'm done. All right. Come out. 4 straps. Yep. Good. Because if I watch him every time and I say, stop, you're going to catch the bumper. Stop. You got to build that confidence in him. And, I have to have confidence in him as well. But he has to build that confidence that, oh, yeah, check the bumper, check this. So if you hit 24, 30 calls in a row that you're watching that bumper, I'm seeing you watch those the tail as it's coming up the bed. Your straps are always good. You're putting your safety on before you're going around the vehicle. You start to give more and more leeway to the driver, more and more and more and more. Yeah. And eventually you're just sitting in the passenger seat playing on your phone.
Thinking that you need to up your data plan, but then you remember I'm not going to be sitting in the passenger seat of this truck for another week. So
exactly.
I'll pay the high
So
data overages.
So that's a good question I have for anyone listening, and it's a good chance you can put it down in the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, you can comment on the clips. Everything is, how long do you train your new guys? What is your ride along time? Your minimum, is it 20 hours? Is it 40 hours? Is it 50 calls? What is the standard that you use? And I know that it can vary, but as a general rule of thumb, what is the standard you use for training? How long are you training new guys before you are throwing them the keys and sending them on their own to do at least the basic calls?
I think that really depends on the operator. Like it really does come down on the operator. Like when you train me, I think it was like
3 months.
6 or 7 days. I think I had you with me.
3 months. Don't let him fool you, ladies and gentlemen. It was 3 months before I would let him touch a control.
And that company said minimum 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And that company, you do 2 weeks. Once the trainer is happy with your progress, go out for a day with the boss, right? And then he would sign off.
Yep.
I thought that was really great. I've worked with other towing companies after that, and the training has varied from place to place. I'm a big pusher and give the guy a little bit more time. It's great if he knows how to pick up a car and do it safely, but I want to teach him how to avoid taking out that first oil pan. I don't want his first flat tire to have to call someone back out. I want to train him for that when someone's with him, right?
Well, that's another question then. Does it change if you're training on a wrecker or a flatbed? I personally think that the training time for basic calls, and again, there's a wide range of calls that we do, and you cannot train everything, but for basic calls, a flatbed is easy. I have said it, and I will stand by it. A flatbed is a rookie truck. Hate me if you want to hate me. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
A flatbed is a much easier call or truck to train basic calls.
It's the same. Our job is repetition, right?
Yeah.
And 90% of your flatbed calls out there is the same thing. You hook your hook points, whether that be mini J's, large J's, or a bridle, around something secure under the car. You pull it up, you strap it down, and away you go, right? General. With wheel lifts, you got to worry about the oil pan. You got to worry about the clearance. You do have to worry about some oil pans on the beds if you got like your hooks right underneath the oil pan on a Jetta. Well, other than that, that's little things. Something that you just say, hey, look where you're.
Your wrecker, you've got your spoons put in. You've got your bumpers not to clip when you're lifting. You've got how far in and out you're turning exactly. You've got dollies, no dollies. You've got clearance with dollies.
Pulling into places with an inclined driveway or vice versa.
Yeah.
That's
what I mean. I truly believe the wrecker is a more complicated truck to run.
Yeah.
So that's why I wonder, does the training change? If it does, drop a comment in the YouTube. Let us know if you're not watching on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. There's a million places. I don't even know all of them anymore. Be sure to head over to the Facebook page at the TowManG Life Podcast and leave us the answer there. I will put this clip up this week and kind of see if we can get an idea on, what you're doing for training lengths. So I'm really interested to hear on that. And does it change for, wreckers to flatbeds? And then even better, when you get into the heavies, how many calls that heavy guy going out with, right? Most of the guys that you try and bring into the heavy industry have some sort of trucking experience, right? Have, whether, obviously they have to be DZ, they have to be AZ licensed, class 1, class 3, I think it is, depending if you're in the West Coast and possibly the US. I don't know how you guys class your licenses. I imagine the US is like class Benjamin, class Franklin, class Washington. I feel like that's how the grade of the scale goes down there. I know most provinces use the number system. Kind of makes sense. 1, I believe, is an AZ. 3 is a DZ. 5 is your regular car license. And there's probably a couple other in there. But your heavy guys, man. Now we're playing, again, doing a straight up tractor swap, sure, it's easy. But once you get into, side load garbage trucks, roll off bin trucks, some of these 6-bag suspension systems that are going on, like, how much time are you putting in to training these guys? I mean, everything for the most part can be grabbed from the front if you drop the drive shaft. And I guess there is always the standard hookup, But to really maximize these guys and start towing stuff backwards and where you're hooking, how much time you spending with them. I feel like it's a lot longer in a heavy than it would be in a light.
And it's
which
also your
makes sense.
call volume too. Like if you're a smaller company and you've got one heavy and you got that driver to train a new guy to be able to hop into that truck, I think is going to take a lot longer to compared if you're on like the 401 corridor and you've got a couple heavies already and a couple of experienced guys and a big crew to work with, right?
Yeah, that's true. Call volume definitely plays a big thing into it. That's why we're surprised training a new guy right now. This week was
It's
stupid
slow.
busy. No, we're stupid busy this week,
Oh.
and I don't know why.
I did 3 calls all weekend, man. 3 Saturday and Sunday. 3.
I did 60 hours on the clock plus a bunch of stuff at night. So fuck you. It was quiet. We were busy as shit this week. I don't know why. I thought the snow was gone. It is gone.
Yeah.
There was no reason for it. It was just one of those weird weeks. We'll see what this week brings. You know, as you know, it was busy. We were supposed to be recording a couple nights ago, and I fell asleep on you.
Yeah, I called you. I was like, I'm 20 minutes away from home. Is it okay if we record at 10:30? And you're like, yeah, I'm trying to stay awake. You messaged me at 4 a.m. in the morning after I waited for half an hour for you. And you're like, I fell asleep on the couch.
Yep.
And I didn't reply to you because I was like, if you're trying to stay awake, you do not lay down on that couch.
It happens. It happens. We find rest whenever we can find rest. So how much training? We're going to play a video now that G was nice enough to find to us today. How much training do you figure this guy had?
Rarely will you see a city police department chasing a city ambulance, but Friday night, Philadelphia police say Mark Giverowski made it happen. EMTs and Medic 49 first met him at the Roosevelt Inn off the boulevard while responding to a possible assault. While treating Giverowski, police say he jumped off the stretcher and into the unlocked and running ambulance. Police say they shot him 3 times as he reversed and hit 2 officers in uniform.
That's always my biggest fear.
Wait, this is the best part. So before you guys figure out how is this news story towing related, the ambulance responded to a assault.
Yeah.
The guy hopped in their running ambulance and took off. The cop shot him 3 times.
3 times. Yeah.
3 times. Right? That's your biggest fear. Why when we leave trucks running and keys in them?
Yep. Yeah.
100%.
Biggest fear.
100%. So that's the layout of the story of what's going on right now. Guy probably on some sort of drugs, I would only assume. I hope he can't sue me for saying that. Steals an ambulance.
Almost 90 minutes, Giverowski leads police on a tour of Frankfurt and Cottman Avenues and side streets around the boulevard.
There was kids out there. He nearly struck a couple of kids on a few blocks he was going through.
Joel Hilton became more than a witness Friday night.
I didn't even know it was stolen at first. I'm just thinking that the paramedics just hit me and ran.
Hilton is driving the tow truck, pulling ahead of the stolen ambulance.
My grandmother was a cop down in the 1st District. I wouldn't want that to happen to my grandmother.
For 4 minutes, he tries to get in front of Giverowski. His persistence pays. He flattens a front tire before spinning out.
Finally got the right tire, and he still was going. He was down like 15 miles an hour. Tried to take this part again to slam it straight into the radiator just to let it overheat.
For another 20 minutes, police say Giverowski drives on a flat front tire. Then a police spike strip finishes the job. The ambulance comes to a stop on Tolbert Street, where highway patrol officers tase and pull Giverowski from the driver's seat.
Now they tase
While
him.
Hilton told us he would step in to help again.
Did it feel personal?
Yeah, kind of personal because a lot of those guys up in the 2nd and 15th, the 35th, 14th, all over the city, we work alongside of the police officer.
So, I personally love the part. First of all, I want to give him praise because what he did was actually brave. Stupid at the same time, but
yeah,
there was some alert, awareness and bravery to it. So congratulations on that. Never mind looking from the side of, a company where you go, oh my God, the liability behind this one is off the charts. So yeah, this guy stole an ambulance. What I love is he said, I didn't even realize it was stolen. I just thought the ambulance was trying to hit me. Well, that should probably be your first sign that there's something wrong with the ambulance. If the ambulance is ramming your tow truck,
there's probably something wrong.
There's probably something wrong. So no, he proceeded.
You see the 30 cop cars following this ambulance? Here's your sign.
So no, it was a good one. Like I said, it was definitely a heck of a moment, and a decision was made, a split-second decision for him to try and interfere with the ambulance and help bring it to a stop. Obviously, the liability behind this, had somebody got hit, Had he been hurt because of it, you know what I mean? I can only imagine the insurance companies. I believe it was in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Judging by the caption on it, as well as he had a 76ers hoodie on. There's so many things that could go wrong in that. But at the same time, how many of us would love to have that situation?
I hope he's an owner-operator.
I hope
because if you're just some guy who works for a company doing that with your company's truck,
so.
you might not have a job afterwards, even though you're trying to do the right thing.
That's it. I'll praise him for doing the right thing. He was trying to
Yeah.
do the right thing. There was no ill will. There was no whatever. There was no,
Yeah.
I even think, trying to be a cowboy. He was just trying to do the right thing.
Mhm.
But man, there's a lot of ways that could go sideways. But you
especially in the States, like, you don't know who's armed and dangerous.
This guy's already been shot.
Yeah, he's been shot 3 times. He's
That didn't stop him.
hopped up a Mountain Dew and Red Bull, stole an ambulance. He's probably bleeding profusely to begin with, and he just tried to run you off the road.
Yep.
And that's the guy who you want to go have fun with and play. And
He had the right idea. He was trying to put his wheel lift through the rad, right? So it was a record.
Yeah,
he
and
was trying to
take
put
out
the
the
wheel lift through
tires.
the rad so that, and he ended up catching a tire instead, which, hey, that works, I guess. But yeah, you know, you want to do the least damage to your truck. I imagine he's got a couple good dents on it. He said he'd do it again. Like I said, we can sit here and look back and criticize on it for the craziness that it was, and the, you know, but at the same time, he had a split second to make the decision. He made the decision. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got killed. It was the best of case scenario.
And that's going to be a story for him to tell for the rest of his life.
Oh, we talk about stories. God damn it. That's a
Yeah.
good one. I want that one in my repertoire.
Yeah, that's if you're ever in a conversation with anyone else and they're trying to one up you, that's the story to just leave them in the dirt.
I spike belted a stolen ambulance with my wrecker. Yep, you win. Thanks for having that talk. So no, it was like I said, it was an interesting time. It was something cool to see. And like I said, he had a minute to make the decision. Would I want one of my guys doing that? Absolutely not. But props.
You also don't have autoloaders, so that'd be a little harder.
I mean, yeah, what are we gonna do? Just ram? I got the wheel lift as a whole. That's a pretty solid piece of steel.
Yeah. I wonder what would have happened if he tried to grab the front tires.
I imagine moving, it wouldn't go very well. Have you not seen those people where they try and repo their cars and they hop in them?
Yeah, but this is already moving. I would really like to see. Hey,
you want to see an auto loader load a car while rolling, let's say 30 down the road?
Yeah, sure.
If anyone out there has an old auto loader, because God, for the love of God,
and the cojones big enough to do it.
Yeah, and the cojones big enough to do it down an old shop road or anything. Even I'll give you props if you submit a video of you doing it just in your lot, doing 10 kilometers an hour with an auto loader and the car rolling behind you, grabbing it, scooping it, continuing on down the road.
We'll send you a free t-shirt. I don't care. I'll pay for it. I'll send you a free t-shirt.
That's fair. Yeah. So it's the auto loader challenge. Please verify with your managers and bosses before attempting this with their equipment. The auto loader challenge.
Start a new trend. The auto loader challenge. It's like the cinnamon challenge, only a lot more dangerous.
The auto loader challenge. We should probably not be encouraging this kind of behavior.
No.
But use all proper safety precautions and proper PPE.
Yeah. Don't attempt it. But send us the video if you do. Do not try this at home, kids.
Oh my God. The lawsuits that we are heading towards. Hey, we're in episode 37, I think it is now. Why not? We're due for a slap on the wrist for something.
Yeah. Sorry,
we've made it 37 episodes and we haven't been canceled yet. That's got to be a goddamn miracle on its own. I got another funny photo I wanted to pull up.
You guys got a sneak peek of it already.
Yeah. The video list or the YouTube video watchers, can't call them listeners, would have got a sneak peek because I don't know how to control half the media on the screen. But it is an unlock on a car, and it's a picture. It says, imagine doing a lockout and it opens this way. For those of you on the audio side, it is a car door that they have welded the two doors together and cut it at the back, so it kind of is one big swing open door.
Yeah, it's one big suicide back door, including the B pillar in between door A and door B.
Including the B pillar. Now, I have questions on this vehicle's integrity. I have many questions. Like, this thing's rollover integrity seems to be just gone.
Yeah, there is none anymore.
But like, you show up to that for a roadside, and What do you? I'm walking away. I'm walking away. I'm going, this isn't covered. I'm sure there's a policy in somewhere that vehicle can't be modified. And I mean, you
Well-
got 2 doors into one.
I mean, all you'd have to do is unlock the back door. In theory.
Which is technically the front door.
Well, that's the only door. But I mean the back door of the 4-door car, because that would be the one that's actually locked and attached to anything.
That's true. That's true.
Right?
Wonder if you could split if you open the front one, if the back door falls off.
Well, no, it's hinged on there.
No, the pillar falls off.
Oh, yeah. Pillar would
Yeah, like it
fall off.
unclicks
Yeah,
from the
maybe.
pillar. Does that door actually still open? Ooh.
We need to get a hold of the creator of this monstrosity.
Monstrosity. Yeah.
Monstrosity.
This brings it makes me think back to Jurassic Park. We spent so long, wondering if we could. We never thought to ask if we should. And that's what this is right here.
But
you did not think if you should.
It's good to practice unlocks. Like I've been using a long bar for like 5 years. That's all I've ever really used, a long bar and a noose tool. And I've had a Slim Jim for like 3 months. I've never used it. And so we went around and started Slim Jimming things at the shop today because we were dead. Why not? Just unlocking everything with a pop lock, including the Freightliner flatbed. That's fun. An M2 Freightliner. And now that I know where it is, it's quick and easy. And I like it.
That actually reminds me, we just designated a bunch of our cars ready to go for scrap from all the police impounds and everything else. We finally got ownerships for. And I don't believe the new guy's really done any unlocks. Guess what we're doing tomorrow? We're walking around the yard and unlocking scrap cars.
Yep.
Thank you for reminding me. Absolutely. It's great training.
We've got a bunch of scrap cars too, and our new guy. You want to learn how to do a double? Perfect. We got some scrap cars. Oh, you want to learn how to do a rollover? Perfect. We got a scrap car. We actually have this one guy who got impounded, and he was like, well, how do I get my car back? You pay the tow fee and you pay the impound bill. Oh, well, how can I get out of that and just get my personals? I was like, you pay the tow fee and sign over the ownership. He was like, oh, okay. What do you do with them after? It's like, we normally send them to the scrapyard. This scrapyard in particular. Oh, I work at that scrapyard. Perfect. I'll just talk to him and get my car back.
I'll just wait for it to come through.
Yeah. We're like, wow. We're going to bring it in on its roof. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, it's our car. Once we got that signed ownership, we're going to have fun with it. We'll cut holes in that door. We'll set it on fire. It doesn't matter. You're not getting your car back, buddy. We're not that dumb.
Pay the bill. Yeah, absolutely. But what a workaround that he would. That is actually pretty genius. I work at that scrapyard. I'll just pick it up when it comes back in. That's funny. And they get the ownership back. He gets the ownership back, and it is right back in your yard.
Yeah,
20 days later.
The car wasn't even in his name. He bought it a year ago and never changed the ownership.
We have with our police contract out here.
Ford Probe.
With our police contract out here, we do a lot of work at the Canadian Border Services.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe the amount of people that will come through the border either impaired or with suspended licenses.
Really?
And end up getting the vehicle impound. Like, they ask for your ID. Like, it is one of the most secure. This is worse than, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't just a license plate reader going by. Like, they have your license. They know where you've been. This is the Canadian Border Service Agency. And you have the cojones to pull up either impaired, which we have seen by drug or alcohol, whatever it may be, or with a suspended license. How do you think that's going to go?
I think he's a few apples short of a picnic there.
It goddamn amazes me. It goddamn amazes me. So before we go, one last thing. G, you did have this photo, which was a pretty good caption coming up from a text we've seen all over on Facebook. Dispatch messaging. Did you make it to your stop? Driver messages back. Did you make it to the office with the 20 inches of snow coming down? Dispatch says, no, I'm working from home. Driver says, me too. And he shows him on a computer with a driving simulator, probably a trucking simulator, going to work. It is a pretty good chuckle.
Like ATS. That is ATS.
That
American
is ATS
Truck
100%.
Yeah.
That brings me to the last question that I have for you guys. I've asked you plenty of questions. This is why we need the live shows, because I can ask you guys the questions. The good news is you can get to me whenever you want on them. On now, you can email us at thetowinglife@gmail.com, visit thetowinglife.ca, at the Towing Life Podcast on Facebook, or call us at 249-666-2209.
And of course, the comment section down below is free, and you can use it there, and you can even have a conversation with the other viewers down there as well. You might as well hit the like button while you're down there.
Absolutely. And I even do my best once in a while to check in and reply. If not, G takes care of most of the YouTube side.
Yeah.
But you can do all that. My question is, what's the most fun you've had with your dispatcher? I want to cover that. We'll find something to cover dispatching for the next episode or one of the next episodes. That's my way of saving myself from committing to a topic for next week. I've done it before. If you guys have not caught on.
Yeah.
It's a fun little trick I run in
We're
the
gonna
background.
talk about this next week. We
still
haven't
haven't talked about it. Whoops. I sell it a little bit, guys, and then really have to walk it back. But no, I want to hear, what is the most fun you've had with your dispatch, whether it be conversations you've had. You've seen mine. Guy says there's a winch out, no damage, just needs a pull. And turns out he's on his side. We used to have a dispatcher that if we didn't curse at him in the morning, he was sad because that was his good morning we'd give him every day. Shout out to Tim.
Yeah, he had to work from home for like 2 weeks because we had an incident at the shop, and he was like, I want to get back to the shop. And we're like, why? We always make fun of you. And he's like, I miss it.
Absolutely. Dispatchers have a tough job, especially when they got drivers like us. So we want to hear
if my manager isn't telling you to F off, he's pissed.
I tell my guys all the time, if I'm picking on you, whatever, you're good. If I get quiet and I don't want to talk with you, I'm probably pissed off at you.
Yeah.
And so that's a good way to read it. So that being said, G, why don't you go ahead and take us out? Thanks for coming out, guys. G, take care of the rest.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow us on all the social media, like, comment, subscribe, do all those fantastic things, because we're going to be here next week on Tuesday. So, like, share, comment, and we'll see you next week.
And review, 5 stars. 5 stars. See ya.
Toodles.
Bye.
Bye.
Scooters. Out of the 10 bikes that are in there, 7 of them are scooters.